And so we've had a consistent view in our desired outcome in Syria. It's also been our view that the best way to get there is through a political transition. And we said that a year ago, we said that 2 years ago. President Assad made a different decision and has brought chaos and bloodshed to his country and has been killing his own people. And it is our view that it is not possible for him to regain legitimacy after over 100,000 people have been killed and millions have been displaced inside the country. So the question now is, just as a practical matter, and this is what I said to President Putin, as a practical matter, if in fact Syria is to remain a unified country and the bloodshed is going to end, how do we do that? The only way to do that is through some sort of political transition process. And the good news out of the G8 meeting was that you saw all the countries, including Russia, reaffirming the communique coming out of the first Geneva talks that said we need to create a transitional governing body with full powers. The second good thing that came out of the G8 discussions was that all of us, including Russia, said we have to investigate use of chemical weapons inside of Syria, and all the parties, including the government of Bashar al-Assad, have to cooperate with that investigation. We're confident that, in fact, the government has used chemical weapons. The Russians are skeptical. We said, fine, let's have the United Nations get in there, but do a serious investigation of it, because we don't want anybody using chemical weapons. Now, the issue for us is how can we continue to support a political opposition and a military opposition that becomes more capable, becomes more unified, that isolates extremists who have incorporated themselves into the opposition forces inside of Syria, so that if, in fact, and when we get a political transition, there's somebody there who can take over and function in governing and lead to a better future for all Syrians. That's a difficult process. It's not one that's happening overnight. But all the assistance that we are providing, both to the political and military opposition, is designed for that purpose. Some of the stories that have been out there publicly have, I think, gotten a little overcranked in terms of the idea that somehow the United States is preparing to go all in and participate in another war. What we want to do is end a war, but the only way it's going to end is if, in fact, we have the kind of transition that I described.